What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to give 4 predictions for games that I think make sense to be at the State of Play this Thursday. Cannot wait. So I want to try to give a little something for all the different categories, right? I got a PSVR option. I got a couple other things. I do want to do one game as an honorable mention, and it's mainly because I want it, but I just don't think it would be there, and that's the Texas Chainsaw game. I really am excited for this game. We know it's supposed to come out, honestly, somewhat relatively soon, and I guess that means like the next 4 or 5 months, right? Probably somewhere in that area. But because it's tied to Game Pass, and it's not exclusive to Xbox or anything, but because of the Game Pass thing, I'm going to assume it's going to be left aside. I do think it makes sense to give a date for that game relatively soon. I just don't think it's going to be at this event. And also, by the way, Spider-Man 2, I'm not even going to, besides saying it right now, I'm not even going to mention it because it's not going to be there. I think that's pretty clear in what they described. However, let's start with a Spider-Man game. And I did say this in the Everything You Need to Know About the State of Play video, but I'm going to predict a Spider-Man PSVR 2 game. And this is going to be very similar, in my opinion, to a Horizon, like a Call of the Mountain. I've been saying this for a while. I've been pounding the drums on this for a while. I think if Sony wants to give the PSVR 2 a chance, and not that saying it's a terrible system or anything, but if you want to give it more opportunities to, kind of get into the mainstream or get into people that just are not going to automatically buy it, you need those big games that kind of tie in. Horizon's a good start. I think doing a spin-off of Horizon for VR makes a ton of sense. I think back in the day, it would have made sense for like an Uncharted thing, right? If that was a little bit more popular in the moment, I think to do something like that. So I'm trying to kind of create that synchronization between these big games and then VR. So for Spider-Man, and remember, I'm trying to play with the rules of what we know of this State of Play. So it's going to be new PSVR games that we don't know about, but they're supposed to release later this year. Well, if Spider-Man 2 makes it this year, now I don't know if Insomniac would be the ones to make this PSVR game, but I think it just makes so much sense to have a Call of the Mountain, a short experience kind of thing, like you did with Horizon, Spider-Man, God of War, Last of Us, Uncharted, right? If you can just rattle these off, I think that makes a lot of sense. Spider-Man should be the biggest priority just because of how big Spider-Man is. So I'm going to predict that's going to be one of the 4. Now moving into the other things, right? So now we have indie and we have third parties, and then we have Suicide Squad. Not too much you can say because it's literally Suicide Squad. We know that. So let's pick 2 games that are third-party games and then 1 indie game. Let's do the indie game first, and that's Little Devil Inside. That's right, I'm bringing the little guy back. Hopefully, for the love of God, this game does appear. I was sitting here at my desk here, and I was thinking, okay, what could an indie game like this be, right? Like, what could actually be at a State of Play? And I was thinking back and thinking, okay, well, what's something they've shown before, but just, is not out? What hasn't released? And I was thinking, you know what? That little devil, literally, Little Devil Inside. This game has been around for literally forever. It's jumped from, I believe, right, the Wii U is where it kind of started. It jumped over. It's had crowdfunding. It's all this stuff. I'm not a fan of the kind of leading on that this game has done, and again, being through so many iterations. This game needs to release. I'm done giving this game like years and years of excuses, like, well, just come out when it's ready. Of course you say that for games, and I do believe that, but eventually the game actually does need to release, and this game is like 3-4 years past when it should have released. So this could be one. Honestly, this could be a game that you see. I don't think we've seen it in about a year and a half at least. I tend to get my dates mixed up because of how long it's been, but it's been a while. It's been probably almost 2 years, so I think it makes a lot of sense to do it now. And then if we want to jump to third-party games, those are the other 2, Stellar Blade and then Wolf Among Us. So let's talk about Stellar Blade. I think this makes sense. This has appeared at State of Plays before. We know this game is getting closer. We know this game, I believe, was like a wish-listed item on the PlayStation Store. That happened a few months back. I actually made a video on it. So there's some signs in the background that this game is getting closer, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game comes out, whether it be the spring or the summer. I think this is the next like 6 or so month kind of game. I think that makes sense. Third party, right, because it's not Sony, and then also it's been at a State of Play before. So I think, honestly, this kind of checks all the boxes. I'd be a little surprised if it wasn't there. And then, like I said, for The Wolf Among Us 2, this one's a more shot in the dark. This is a little bit more like Texas Chainsaw, I would say, where I'm trying to will it into existence, really. I don't think I don't think there's any reason it needs to be there, but I would probably also say the reverse, right? For an equal amount of reason, I think it could or could not be there. It definitely doesn't need to. They could do their own thing. They have done their own things before. In fact, they tend to do stuff with Jeff Keighley, right? Not only did Jeff Keighley do the teaser, but then he did when it kind of came back to life, and then he did that sit-down interview where we got basically the third kind of viewing of this game. So actually everything, including from this iteration of The Wolf Among Us 2, has been through Jeff Keighley. Okay, so that could be a sign, right, that it's not going to happen. That could be a sign that The Wolf Among Us 2 is a Summer Game Fest game, right, in June, which would be awesome. So as long as we get, this game within the year, as long as we get to see more information of this game within the next, 2, 3, 4 months, I'm okay with it. Again, it's more willing it into existence. Third-party game, Telltale, focus on story. Sony likes kind of focusing up on story, right? It could work. It could work. And again, I think I want it to work more than it actually could, but that will be my final, probably the most risky prediction there. I guess maybe SpiderMan VR is quite a risky one as well. But let me know what you guys think. What are some games you think could be there? Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. Join our Discord server. We'll be talking about the state of play. I'm probably gonna co-stream it, so maybe just lock that in right now, and I'll probably make a decision by the end of the day. Okay, thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on the next one.